Have you been more of a Marvel fan or more of a DC fan?
Growing up, I was a majority Marvel, but as like I'm getting older, like I'm starting to like connect more with DC characters.
That's what happened to me, bro. That's
yeah, man. It's the craziest thing. Yeah.
It's that dark and grittiness that DC has, and like as you get older, you something about relating to it. But
you actually mentioned one of them, which is the 50s.
50s, okay.
The 50s, yeah. 50s more so because of the vehicles, the cars, man.
Yes, dude. Yeah.
1950s vehicles, bro, are just fire.
We got to bring that back too.
Right?
Like, why haven't any car companies like you could make so much money off the nostalgia?
I told my wife, I was like, why don't they bring back the classic, body, but implement the new modern technology?
Yes, dude. Bro. Like the seats and stuff, classic interior and all of that.
100%. I agree on that.
You could even make the steering wheel, the look of it. I think you do kind of got to include modern technology, just 100%. With the way that if you want to get a full classic, that's what the classics are for. Yeah, growing the hair out. It's a disaster, dude. It's a disaster. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Side Projekt Podcast. Yes! Let's take a sip from our Run It Up mugs. Yes. I need that. Water makes the hair grow. Cha-cha-cha-chia. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. You guys can't hear it because I'm muting it and editing, but that's today's guest, and we'll see that in a minute. But before we get into the bread and butter of this week's episode, I actually want to talk to you guys about something real quick. Imagine a trading card game where the heroes aren't necessarily fictional, but instead real cosplayers from our community, right? Well, you don't gotta imagine, because that's the heart of the Built for Battle trading card game, a brand new card game that turns cosplayers into collectible, playable cards that you can actually battle with. And you may have seen this been going around the cosplay community because there's tons of awesome individuals that are a part of this, from cosplayers in the community to my own personal friends that I'm honored to share the experience with because I'm featured as well as my Ezio from Assassin's Creed, even to cosplayers who have been guests and previous cosplays of the week here on this show. Each card features a real creator wearing their amazing cosplays, shot by the amazing people who shot them, because the photogs get credit too, featuring sometimes both original and or known pop culture inspired characters. And on each of their cards are their stats, their unique abilities, and it's all things that contribute to making this more than just a game. It's a promotional tool, a collector's piece, and a whole new way for cosplayers to showcase their talents. Built for Battle gives cosplayers the chance to be a part of something bigger, featured on official cards, sold at events, traded by fans, and played in a competitive game built around the spirit of cosplay. It's a platform that blends different fandoms like comics or gaming and creator promotion like never before. And the game, it officially debuts this year at July 12th and 13th at Cosplay World, where the first wave of featured fighters will be attending in person, such as myself, obviously, and so many others, where we can play the game, fans can play the game, collect cards, buy exclusive bundles, and meet all the cosplayers who brought these cards to life. So whether you're a cosplayer, a collector, or a card game fan in general, this is your chance to be a part of something original, community-driven, positive, and built for battle. You can learn more at builtforbattleleague.com and follow Built for Battle League on Instagram, and get your tickets now for Cosplay World at Cosplay World Richmond. And make sure to keep your eyes locked on the Cosplay World account and my accounts as well for the continuation of panel announcements for the event, as I bring and host cosplay content creation, where panelists are being announced weekly. But as of this recording, you can expect to hear from the likes of Joey Red Hood, Heroes for Hire, Kira Creates, and like I said, more to be announced. So cosplayworldrichmond.com. Get your tickets now if you haven't. But anyway, let's get into the bread and butter of this week's episode, because my guest this week is an awesome cosplayer who truthfully embodies every character he takes on in an amazing way. Lately, putting in work with a phenomenal Wolverine cosplay, looking ripped straight out of the pages of a comic or the scenes of a movie. It's definitely one of his most recent standouts, one that I got the opportunity to shoot content for, some released and some more on the way. He has also brought such an amazing rendition of Iron Fist to light that it really goes to show you that something like this could be done in film and actually look astonishing and have accuracy to it. But he's also done variations of Iron Fist in the past, and maybe we'll get some insight on each iteration, as well as the cape, the axe, the glowing green eyes. She Spawn by his side, portrayed by Sarah Thwipps. A Spawn cosplay that will blow your mind. And I'm looking to get more details on it, so let's do just that. Ladies and gentlemen, a previous cosplay of the week here on the show. Let's put our hands together and give a warm welcome to Vision Arts.
How's it going, guys? What's up, man?
Yes, man. I am stoked to have you here, dude. How you feeling?
I feel amazing, man. And it's honestly, bro, it's an honor to be here because I've seen tons of your episodes and I'm like, man, like I want to get on that, dude.
Oh, dude, thank you, man. I'm stoked, dude. It was great to finally meet you. We finally met in person at WonderCon. That was the first time we met, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've had discussions on Instagram, but in person,
yeah, that's the first time we met in person. That was cool, dude. We shot a good amount of some stuff, and there's one thing, a solo thing of you that I can't wait. I'm sorry it's been taking so long in editing. You see that I have been all over the world,
don't even worry
literally.
About it.
So it's been crazy, and I had I think it was over 100 gigabytes of content that I shot at WonderCon, dude.
Just the one convention.
Just that one convention, dude.
That's crazy.
Like over 100 gigabytes or something, or like right around. So my bad that things are taking so long. But
no, it's good, man.
But yeah, man, I want to start off talking with you about your Spawn cosplay, dude. You know, let's start with like the bigger and the bulkier of your cosplays, because this thing is intricate, it's accurate. I mean, it's awesome, dude, from head to toe. The cape flowing up into a point above your head, the glowing green eyes, the axe, the bullets all around the body. The fact that if you look closely, you've got like, you know, one leg that's bigger than the other due to the armor pieces. And the same thing with the comparison of the arms as well. It's just a job well done, dude. So I know that you have like a hand in some of the crafting side of things when it comes to your cosplays, but I don't know to what extent that may be, you know, and I'm sure it can vary from cosplay to cosplay as well. So when it comes to your Spawn, how did that go down? Like who did what, you know, what did you do, if any, and like, how did Spawn come together like as a whole?
So I mean, I wish I can take full credit for this amazing suit, but it all is going to go to my buddy Evolution FX.
Nice. Okay.
This guy, man, he just went all out on this suit. The one thing that I did contribute to it was the axe.
Okay.
The axe I made because me and him were going back and forth on it, and I was thinking like, all right, like Spawn, yes, he's awesome on his own, but I mean, homeboy has weapons, you know, he either has his guns and things like that, and so he brought the idea. It's like, hey man, like in Mortal Kombat, the video game, like he wields an axe, and I was like, bro, okay, so I'm gonna make the axe, and that way I can have some kind of contribute to the suit itself. But believe it or not, man, thanks, dude. Believe it or not, this suit was actually won in a raffle.
Really?
Yes, bro.
No way.
He raffled it out, and you know, you have that mentality of like, look, I'm not going to win, but might as well just enter. Yeah, bro, I ended up winning it. But this was actually made for somebody who was a lot taller and a lot broader than I am.
Oh, okay.
So I could send you like later down the road, I'll send you a photo of what it looked like when I got it and I put it on, dude. I looked like a child in a man's costume. It was dragging and baggy.
Oh man.
So I had to completely take it apart and then attach it onto a suit that fit me. So I had to like do massive alterations to it, but as far as the craftsmanship, that's all Evolution FX, dude. And again, like I said, like I did the axe here.
Amazing.
And yeah, man. So and the hooks too. I remember like, you know, you're kind of like mentioning something about the cape too. Yeah.
How is that exactly? I was going to ask. I mean, you maybe you know because obviously you wear it, so you've messed with it. You did alterations and everything. But like the cape itself, like I guess kind of like a two-part question. Like the pointy part, like how do you visually? How do you get that? Is it like hanger wire or something that's in there, if you know? And then the second question would be like, is it separate pieces, like, or is it one whole cape piece from top to bottom?
So the hooks, like the roundness of the top of the cape. Yeah. That is actually, you're correct. It's actually through wiring. Okay. It's a very sturdy wire. I'm not entirely. I didn't want to open it up and take a peek, but I'm pretty sure it's some kind of really strong hard wire that does form.
Move it? Like,
I can form it, dude.
Okay, cool.
So there's been hours, dude, where I'm just messing with it, trying to get it certain ways, looking at like, you know, Todd McFarlane's, you know, iterations of different variants. And so, that's wire. And for the cape itself, it is put in two pieces. So the collar part of it is one piece that's attached to the cape itself. And there's more wiring on the back end to hold it, to structure it, to keep it up. Okay. And then the rest of it, is wire as well.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, how does it connect? Is it like Velcro? You know, some people put magnets.
Are you talking like the cape on the suit or just?
I guess both, because you said the top piece connects to the other part of the cape, and then obviously there's a part that connects to like your back or shoulders, right?
Yeah, so the two pieces are they are permanently attached to each other, but you can tell that there is a separation between the two.
Gotcha. Okay,
you know what I mean?
saying.
Yeah, it overlaps. And then for the part that hooks onto the actual suit, that's a Velcro system.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Because I know some people use Velcro, some use magnets. Like I don't have a cape in any of my cosplays, but just talking about things that connect to things or things that connect to my suits. Like sometimes I have Velcro. I have magnets on some stuff too, and then I have like the buttons, like the ones that like what do they call? I don't know what they're called, but the push ones and and they pop in. Those are pretty sturdy. I mean, Velcro, what is that like? Like, what's that like with the button systems? I've been actually wanting to try that, man. And as everybody knows, like the majority of everything, almost like 98% of all my stuff is made by Tyre. You know what I mean? So like, I'm just kind of there watching her. Bro. She's like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Looks great, baby." Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? Just whatever you want. You know what I mean? Whatever makes it easy for me to put on. You know what I mean? But I'm the first to admit that I'm just not crafty, man. I say it all the time. I have other things that we all have our things that we're good at. You know what I mean? And I'm just not good with the arts and crafts and stuff. But I have all three with different cosplays. Some I have like magnets that hold stuff together. Some I have Velcro that hold stuff together. And some I have those clip cut buttons. I don't know what they're called, but like the metal ones. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that you have them on some button-up shirts, like on regular clothing. And I think it depends. All of them have their pros and cons, in my opinion. With the magnets, sometimes I've noticed that it will, I don't know what causes it, so forgive me, but sometimes it's not as strong as I would want it to be, and it slips off. Like I have, I was about to spoil something. I just realized, I just realized I haven't revealed that cosplay yet, and I don't know if I am by the time this episode comes out, but I have a cosplay where something connects, and on one side, the magnet always slips off. Yeah. And I'm like, like, what is that? And so Tyre's like, I'll fix it. I'll figure it out. If we can't, if the magnets don't work, we may have to do like the buttons of the Velcro. You know what I mean? So it really depends on how heavy things are too. But I would say right now, my personal favorites are the Velcro and the buttons so far. They seem to stick better with, depending on what it is. A lot of things depend on the weight of whatever it is. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, it depends.
Yeah, I completely agree.
For your spawn, how many pieces is it all together, like to put the suit on? Because I would assume obviously the head is, a piece in itself. The suit, I don't know. Is the suit like a one piece? You know what I mean? Like a Nightwing suit would be, for instance, or maybe a Robin suit would be. Like what's separate and what's connected to one another? Yeah,
this thing's a monster, dude. So the no pun intended. So the actual black muscle pieces are attached to a Lycra spandex suit. Okay. So it's just the shoulders, bicep, torso, and thighs. So that's all just one thing. So I'll throw that on. You have all the additional armor pieces are each individual pieces on their own. So I've yet to count how many pieces there are in this thing. But when I'm getting ready for it, dude, the whole room is just sprawled out with all these pieces of this suit, man. It's insane. It's like a production.
Spawn walked in and was just like, wow, and everything just flew everywhere.
It just flies everywhere, dude. Yeah. It's crazy, man. This thing is absolutely nuts, and it's a masterpiece, man. I absolutely love it. Yeah.
The chains, dude. I have a question about the chain. Like, are the chains separate? They got to be separate as well, right? Like you put the chains on after everything, right?
Yeah. The chains. You could detach them from the belt itself, and then from the collar as well. You can detach them right there too. Nice. And I kind of like try to do things to make it fit my body type, because I'm a small dude, Same. And you don't really get it. You won't really tell because I'm standing next to my wife in the photo. I look like I'm 10 feet tall, but I'm not that big, man.
Yeah, it's phenomenally done, dude. I know that you've been focusing on like your other cosplays as of late, understandably, but do you have any plans of rocking Spawn again in the future? Like, is this something that you kind of put to the side, like, like a one and done, or do you still have plans to, take it to more cons or, do more photos with it? Because it's so many pieces. I'm sure traveling out of state is probably a pain with this, a cosplay like this, but maybe, cons in your hometown, of course, or even maybe plans to upgrade anything, or even maybe different versions of the character. Is that something that you'd ever be interested in?
Yeah, it's funny that you asked that, because a ton of people has messaged me about it, and then people at conventions. The thing about this is I feel like this is more of a winter con kind of cosplay, because this thing is a sauna, bro.
Rough, bro.
I made the unfortunate decision to wear this at, I believe it was I don't know if it was LA Comic-Con, and Bro, it was a sauna in that thing. I literally almost passed out being in the in the suit. And but I do want to wear it again. And if I do, it's going to be a convention that's a little bit more during like the cooler seasons.
Yeah.
I do want to wear this. Again, it was an absolute dream having it. But I am. To answer your other question, I am gonna be doing another variant of Spawn, which is gonna be. He's my favorite Spawn, which is Gunslinger. Gunslinger Spawn, and so like I'm actually working on the head, the hat right here. Yeah, I'm working on that right now. And then this is going to be the mask for him.
Nice.
But I got a couple pieces already done for him, but it's just taking time. But Gunslinger, man. Yeah.
That's yes. Any Spawn cosplay is a piece of art. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
It's work, dude. But yeah, you pull this thing off amazingly. So does Sarah. Like it's just awesome. You guys look great together, dude. And I mean, I'll save it for like, if I talk to her in person, but I'll ask you like one thing, the giant gun that she's holding.
Yeah.
Like, did you guys make that, or did you get it made from somebody, or like just a summary of that?
It's a Nerf gun, dude.
No way, dude. That's crazy. That's
a
so
Nerf
cool.
gun. Yeah,
the awesome things you can make, man.
I hunted people down, and I found it because I had that specific vision of her holding this massive, automatic rifle. And so we came across this, and I'm like, that's it. And so I dremeled down the Nerf logo, and we painted it. And it's a Nerf gun, man.
That's crazy. See, you never know, dude. You could take the simplest things and make something amazing out of it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly, dude.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, I love your Spawn, man. I was a huge Spawn fan as a kid. I've always got the Spawn helmet in the background of the podcast.
Yeah.
And as I got older, unfortunately, I drifted away from it and didn't dive into it as much as I probably should have when I got older. But I still love Spawn. I love the animated series. I love the voice actor whose name I can't remember right now. Somebody's gonna write it in a comment somewhere. But
please,
he's an awesome voice actor. There's like a specific line, what I also can't remember right now, but I just know there's like this specific line that he always said in the animated series that I was like, oh man, that's so cool. Like if I ever did a Spawn cosplay, like I'd want to reenact that type thing. You know what I mean?
Dude.
Like that's so cool. So I love, and I love your Spawn cosplay, dude. It's awesome, man. And you're right, like more so like WinterCon for would be better, which is like when, you know what I mean? Like when is it never not, you know what I'm saying? Like you got like a small window with maybe WonderCon, you know what I mean? And that's it, dude.
It's like if I'm ever trying to lose weight, man, I'll just throw that thing on.
Right? You don't got to go to the gym or go to the sauna because you are the sauna, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude.
But I want to talk to you about something that I personally don't see as often in comparison to a lot of other comic characters out there, especially done in a pretty comic accurate way. And that's your Iron Fist, man. And you have this most recent iteration of the character, which sees you don in the green and the yellow version, green suit looking amazing with the yellow headpiece, the yellow hand wraps and more. I mean, the Immortal Iron Fist. So I know that you posted some progress shots when you were working on this, saying things like how you just needed to like paint the emblem and it was a go. And then, so I'm going to assume that you kind of put the majority of this, if not all of it, together yourself. Walk us through the process of like bringing this version of Iron Fist together and how you did what, because even the detail on the headpiece, man, it's just awesome. And you posted like this video, which I'll throw up on the screen, of yourself working on it as well. So what's the process of this version of your Iron Fist?
So this one, I can say it's all me. I did it from head to toe. Even the suit pattern, I digitally created the pattern for that.
No way,
and so
dude.
as far as like, because this was a work in progress, I've always wanted to do this like kind of more accurate version of him, because like you said, I've done other variants of Iron Fist, but I always wanted to go for that blonde gold hair that he has in everything that we see. And so I wanted to go more traditionally with the green and yellows. And so the mask was a work in progress. I had made masks in the past that were good enough at the time, but I feel like since my skill set has progressed, I'm like, dude, I can do this better.
Nice.
And so this past couple of months, I just been brainstorming. And so what we did is what's underneath the mask itself is it's a face shell. Okay, so that was custom made. And then after it was printed out, I got the fabric from, I was able to stop at a Joanne Fabrics, and I got to pick up some. Yeah, exactly, dude.
Real quick, sidebar.
Yeah.
Did you see that Michaels actually acquired them?
Bro.
So I think they're going to combine it into one big.
I saw that, dude. I was so pumped because that's my go-to, man. Like when it comes to anything. And so, I'm super pumped for that. I can't wait till
so it looks like they're going to combine it, which is going to be very helpful. Yeah, because
And so, dude, I'm super pumped. And so I was able to get some of this fabric. This is actually Yaya Han's.
I saw that. I saw that in the credits.
Yeah, dude. And so what I did is I dyed it, to the color that I wanted.
Right.
And then I sprayed an adhesive over the face shell. And I just hoped for the best, dude. And I laid it over. I did measure everything. I sewed different pieces of it as well. And the suit itself, I mean, self-explanatory. It's a lycra spandex suit.
Right.
The shoes, again, those were bought. But and then I made everything else. I made the hand wraps. I made the belt, sash, and dude, it was definitely a project. But man, I personally do like the way it came out.
Yeah, I do too. It looks really good, man. And then I'm impressed by the like the headpiece and everything, and the wraps and just the way that they look. Like kind of like battle worn, battle damaged in a way. Like it's not just like super bright yellow. It's got like that ruggedness to it as well. You know what I mean? Like it's impressive, dude, and it looks really good. And the same thing with the suit, like the whole package. You know what I mean? It looks amazing the way that it's presented. You've actually been doing Iron Fist for a decent amount of time within cosplay. And I know, some may not, because you kind of got to scroll a little bit on your Instagram to see them. But this would be, what we're talking about is your most recent iteration. But from what I'm aware of, you've had at least 2 other versions in the past. And you've seemingly done the more so all yellow version, what looks to be kind of like a different green version leading up to the iteration that you have now. There's also in the comics a white version with a more gold-looking emblem, also a white version with a black emblem that I've seen. Is doing more versions of Iron Fist on your to-do list within cosplay, or does it end with what you have? Like, do you feel like you accomplished it and you're moving on, or do you feel like you want to do more?
I think Iron Fist is that one character where I'm always going to try to do something different with them. And so leaving the white suit as the one suit I've yet to do, I have to, man. I just have to do it, dude. I'm like, I can't be doing all these other variants and then I leave the white, because the white one is also one of his classics as well. So I'm like, I have to show respect to that. And so I think I'll probably be busting out the white one maybe sometime in the future for sure.
That's pretty cool, dude. You don't see too many Iron Fist cosplayers. I mean, they are out there, don't get me wrong. They're out there. I've seen them, but they're not like as prominent as Batmans and Robins and Nightwings and you know what I mean, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're not as prominent. So it's cool. I always like, and there's nothing wrong with doing characters that are more prominent. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But it also is cool to see cosplayers bring to life something that you don't see as often. You know what I mean? And to do it justice as well. Because like I said in the intro, it's cool to see it done the way that cosplayers can do it, because you can see that if Hollywood were to put their mind to it, it shows you that it could be done comic accurate and not look cheesy, because we do it too. Even though we cosplay, we often will go like, oh man, I don't know if they'll be able to pull that suit off and not make it look cheesy. You know what I mean? But then as cosplayers, you guys are over here making it. It's always funny that they're like, I don't know if they'll be able to pull it off and make it look cheesy. Meanwhile, 5 minutes ago, you just did it yourself. You know what I mean? But it's like, that's because I don't think Hollywood, they don't really think outside the box. I don't think, you know what I mean?
I agree.
And maybe they're just not hiring the right people. Now we're getting into like a whole other conversation. We know that they're cutting corners with CGI. CGI artists are always talking about they don't have enough time to fully complete stuff. So it comes out looking, But so I wonder if it's the same thing in the art department. They're rushing people. They're just like, whatever. They change things so much because they don't want it to look cheesy. But then it's like, Iron Fist was one of the ones where I personally saw people talking about a lot, like the Iron Fist, like suit and everything from the comics, like having what's his name? I can't remember the actor's name for the Netflix one, but having him,
I believe it's Finn. Yeah, Finn Jones, I think.
Yeah, Finn Jones, I think. Yeah. I saw a lot of people say at the time, like having him portray the comic actor one, like they're probably going to make it cheesy. It's not going to look good, But it's people like you that show like, man, it actually can be done. You just got to do it right. You know what I mean? You just got to do it right. I mentioned earlier that I thought that, like we just said, Iron Fist was a character that you don't see as often. What drew you into cosplaying Iron Fist in the first place? Because it doesn't seem like it's someone that you just kind of jumped on the trend, because the trend wasn't really that big to begin with. But you've been doing the character for a bit now as well. I mean, where does your Iron Fist love come from? Or like, if it's not love, just like what drew you to go like, I'm gonna cosplay Iron Fist?
So I've always been like infatuated with like kung fu and like even though I have no skill set in that at all. Like, don't ask me to give you a kick, because I'll destroy it, dude.
Well, at least you got the poses down. You can you can hold the pose, but that may be where it ends.
That's as far as it goes, man. That's as far. Don't tell me to do a flip, but yeah, dude. I mean, like, yeah, I just always just had this like this part of me that just loved like the kung fu scene and things like that. And he's like, I mean, that's his character, right? Like he's trained in this. And so also too, I think what drew me to him was the animated series where my boy Greg Sipes voiced the animated version. And he was just like, yeah, bro, like, you know, peace, man. Like he was just like real, like cool, like, you know, beach, like, you know, Venice Beach kind of vibe. And I dug that really like spoke to me as well. And so also too, just him being, you know, a lower leveled hero, like
street level and whatnot.
Exactly, dude. I think that's something that really speaks to me as well. Like the fact that he's the guy who takes care of those that are not necessarily in the spotlight, you know, like the person who's in the alley getting robbed, like he's that guy who's going to help them out. And I think that's one thing that really drew me to him. And just, I mean, bro, just the suit in itself, I think it's very eye catching. Like the mat, like it's very simple, but when you look at the details and the mask, it's just like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I'm like, I needed to do it, dude. And for multiple reasons, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
It stands out. You're right. It's a suit that kind of pops. You know what I mean? Man. It pops. And it's always cool. The Netflix series got mixed reviews, as everybody knows. Yeah. But I always wanted to see him kind of don a more accurate suit and everything. And
me too,
you know, I like the whole Defenders aspect, you know, Daredevil teaming up with everybody else and everything. And it looks like that's going to be brought back for Born Again season 2. I'm looking forward to that. Spoiler alert if anybody hasn't seen it. Sorry, you know.
You guys had enough time.
Yeah, I feel like it's been enough time. It looks like that's the direction. And then if you haven't seen any of the behind the scenes spoilers and whatnot, it looks like that's where things are headed. Yeah. I'm stoked for that. I want to see that. I hope it does happen. I hope they stick around. And I, like you mentioned, street level too, when it just comes to like the MCU, I am interested in, I hope that part of me hopes that they kind of keep Daredevil and, you know, the Defenders, bring them back and keep them street level. Yeah. You know, I want to see street level stuff occurring in the MCU. You know what I mean? I want to see that aspect. I like the aspect of them fighting Kingpin. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see more of that too.
Go.
You know? That's a whole other conversation though. But I want to see that, you know, But yeah, you do an amazing Iron Fist, man. It's totally cool, dude. And I can't wait to see what happens in the future. I want to talk to you more about some of your other cosplays, dude. And we definitely are going to do that. But before we do that, let's break up the monotony and let's get into this week's cosplay of the week. Oh. And this week's cosplay of the week is none other than, this one is a long time coming, Show Joe cosplay. And I'm throwing it up on the screen right about... That's such a weird sound effect. I'm sure it's going to gross people out. I'm sure that's going to gross some people out. But I did it for a reason, and I'm throwing it up on the screen right about now. And it is of her Mystique. And it was like, you know, it was supposed to be like, you know, like the Mystique, the skin, you know, transforming. You get what I'm saying, right? That's what I was
crazy.
It was gross, the sound effect I did. But that's what it was supposed to be. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, that voice that you hear, that face that you see is guest this week. In case you're just tuning into this on Instagram and you didn't tune into the full episode, Vision Arts. We're talking about his Spawn. We're talking about his Iron Fist and his Wolverine and a bunch of other things, his DC cosplay. So tune into that in case you're just watching this on Instagram as a clip and you didn't tune into the full episode. Check that out after. We're going to hear from Vision Arts a little bit more in just a second here. Shoujo, this is amazing. This is your Mystique turning into Rogue, or maybe, you know, Rogue turning back into Mystique, however you want to look at it. But either way, you get it. Absolutely amazing, phenomenal. The photo is by Colin College Photography, edit by Pixel Lens, my homeboy Pixel Lens. Phenomenal job, both of you. And Shoujo, this is amazing because for those that may not know, it's not just the edit. She actually is in cosplay physically like this. Like it's actually split down the middle like that and everything, not just the edit. Perfectly done. I mean, just perfectly done. And then Pixel with the background, I mean, adding to it that much more, you know what I mean? Giving it a great background. Like she could be turning right. I my imaginative mind, you know, could be like the X-Men, you know, she's looking at the X-Men in front of her, you know, and they think that she's Rogue and she's turning back into Mystique. And that's when my nasty sound effect of my lips smacking happens. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, that's what that is. Like, this is just phenomenally done. And I wish I could see this in person. I know that this was, I've had this saved in the vault for quite a long time, Joe, just to let you know. Like, I mean, a long time, like when you first posted it. And I think that was quite a while ago. Because I think you got to scroll down on her Instagram a little bit now to see this photo. And where I'm going with this is, I don't know if you're, planning on doing this cosplay ever again, but if we ever end up at the same conventions or something, or the same place, and you are rocking this, oh man, I'd love to shoot some like crazy cool cinematic video of this. Like I already got like the idea, like you kind of turn to one side and it's just Mystique, you know what I mean? And then you turn to the other side and it reveals Rogue, right, dude? Like, oh, come on, man. And then before we get up out of here, before we round this segment out, I want to throw up another one, and I want to throw it up on the screen right about boom now. And it is of Makima from Chainsaw Man. We don't talk about anime a lot here because, I mean, it's just not an anime show. You know what I mean? It's really not. And though it's all included in pop culture and stuff, and people talk about it here and there, Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, this and that, blah, blah, blah. It's all, MCU film and stuff. It tends to be the bigger thing. But I actually personally am a Chainsaw Man fan. I'm a fan of the animes that I like. I love the animes I love, and I kind of stick to my little circle of animes that I like, you know what I mean? Chainsaw Man's one that I like, actually. I'm actually a big fan of Chainsaw Man. Photo by E-Wide. And sometimes, we kind of talked about this when we were talking with Vision Arts, when we were talking about his Iron Fist and kind of like simpler cosplays in a way, right? Yeah. But sometimes it's those simple ones that can pop out like you wouldn't believe. You know what I mean? And I get that this is a more simple one, and Joe may probably be thinking too, like, why did you choose one of my most simple cosplays ever to highlight? But sometimes it's those simple things. And it's shout out to EY too, because it's the two of you collaborating together. Perfect location, you know what I mean? A perfect photo. The shot stands out, I don't know if you had some lighting there, if you went with natural lighting. Looks like maybe a little bit of editing was in play, like on her face and everything. I don't know if to make it, pop a little bit more. Contacts, maybe it's editing. Maybe you rock the contacts in person, Joe. I'm not sure, but it's just like the simplicity of it. It just pops, and it's just cool. And I'm personally just a Chainsaw Man fan, and I always like this character as well. And you pull it off greatly. The blood stains all over the shirt and everything. It's awesome, dude. Vision Arts, like I said, guests this week. Do you have anything that you want to add before we wrap this segment up about Shoujo's cosplays of the week?
Yeah, I mean, looking back at her Rogue and Mystique, I love that she chose Mystique turning into Rogue because right. I mean, it's canon that Mystique's actually like the adopted mother of Rogue, and so it's like, dude, like that connection. I was like, bro, that is genius, dude, simply genius. And just the makeup itself, the way it transitions, like it's just the whole suit is absolutely insane. And I love that you're mentioning like the fact that she like the work that it's been put into this thing is just this took probably, I mean, I haven't put anything like this before, but I mean I could say months to a year, like even maybe longer, because trying to get both of these put together, and then not only that, but making them be able to pull it off with two separate wigs too. Like it's incredible. She
probably had to sew the suits together too. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy work,
it's insane, dude. Absolutely insane.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, a phenomenal job. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not following Shoujo Cosplay on Instagram, please go do so at show.jo.cosplay. Those are just O's, no W's. Like I said, on Instagram, because Shoujo Cosplay, your Mystique / Rogue and Makimi cosplay of the week for me and Vision Arts is amazing. Absolutely amazing, man.
That's insane.
It's a phenomenal job.
Gosh, dude.
And I didn't plug it in the opening of the episode like I usually do because I plugged Built for Battle League instead. But everything that you see here on the show that you see me rocking, whether it's the mugs that are up here or the shirts that are up here, or if I'm rocking a sweater in the wintertime or anything else that you really see me rocking is available on the Side Project merch store right about now via sideprojectpodcast.com, where you can get tees, hoodies. I think we got some pants up there. I think we got some sweats. I think we got sweats up there. I think so. We got some shorts up there as well. And I haven't been revamping anything. I have been so busy. I'm sure if you guys follow my personal Instagram, you see I haven't been revamping anything or adding anything for quite a long time now, but there's a lot of cool stuff up there. We got backpacks up there now too. I don't know what you need it for, but look at me not helping myself. You know what I mean? Like we got backpacks up there, but don't go buy them. That's basically what I'm saying.
You don't need it,
so. I don't know. You know what I mean? But they're up there. You know what I mean? Buy one for your kid and have them go to school with it and plug it for all the little kids, because my show's totally for children. But anyway, sideprojectpodcast.com, Side Project merch available on sideprojectpodcast.com. Go get it if you want it. I want to talk to you more about some of your cosplays, but before we do that, I want to throw a little bit of a curveball at you, and I want to get into a segment that I like to call Shotgun Questions. And what Shotgun Questions is a little bit more of a rapid fire segment that never ends up being that rapid fire, and that's okay. We always end up having a conversation about it, and that is the irony of the whole segment. It's a series about three questions, and it's all fun and games. It's nothing serious. I don't prep the guests before it. They go in blind. They have no idea. Unless you tune into the show regularly, you kind of get an idea of the questions that may be asked to you. Sometimes they're the same questions. Sometimes I switch it up. Let's see how much fun we can have when I ask you. Detailed logistics aside, you have to build a team of 6 characters to fight off a threat on Earth. This could be a team comprised of superheroes or villains across the Marvel Universe, DC, or any other comic-based company. This could be mixed with gaming characters or quite literally any form of pop culture. You have to build a team of 6 characters to fight off a threat on Earth. Who are your 6?
Talk about a question, man. My goodness. I like that it's 6 though, because I think I could work with 6. You know, the top 3, miss me with that. So yeah, man. Of course, I mean, you know, even though I don't really, you know, talk about this character as much, and I never cosplayed him, but I think Soups would have to be in that 6. Superman himself, I think, would have to be in the 6. And I'd probably go. I mean, I got to go with my boy Spawn right there, dude.
Crazy.
I mean, I feel like he's so underrated, dude. A lot of people don't really like, you know what I mean?
He's not that talked about anymore. Yeah. He's really not. Yeah.
It's insane, dude. Yeah. It's absolutely insane. And I'd have to probably go with Grundy, man. I mean, you know, so not Hulk, but Grundy.
Nice.
Just
another character that's not talked about enough, dude. That's cool.
Yeah, man. Let's see. 4th, man, we probably have to throw in, I'm just gonna be biased on this. I'm gonna throw Wolverine in there.
Nice.
And we need some rugged, you know, some I don't care kind of attitude.
Yes.
Let's see what else we got. How many we got? We got 2 more.
Yeah.
Oh man, these got to be some heavy hitters, dude. Yeah. You know what? I'm telling you, man. I'm a guy who's not really choosing like main characters. I'm about to go with Scorpion.
Oh, dude, nice. I don't know dude, your list is probably the most like variety. You know what I mean? Like across like companies and whatnot. Crazy, dude. Crazy. All right, you got one more.
Nice crossover. Let's see. Last one, man. Last one.
Yeah. It's always the hard one, dude.
It's always the hardest one. Because now I'm thinking villains. I'm like, all right, what villains can I throw in there? What villain can I throw in there? Man, bro, you know what? Let's throw Omni-Man, dude.
Oh, that's crazy, dude.
Let's throw Omni-Man.
What a list, man. That is one of the best lists just based off of the variety. You know what I mean? That is a crazy variety, dude. You got a lot of people in there that are just going to rip apart. You know what I mean? Like,
what are you talking about, man?
Dude, and like Wolverine, Scorpion, and Omni-Man, I could just see them both like if you picture it like a film, you know what I mean? And like the camera pans around and all 3 of them are just ripping people in half, you know what I mean? Like, because that's what they all would do. Like Scorpion's dude. Like, you know, get over here, and then using the chain to rip them in half. Wolverine's ripping him in half with his claws, and then Omni-Man's just pulling him apart from the face. Like,
give me more of that.
Crazy, dude. Crazy. All right.
Dude.
Next question. Out of these Batmen in film, you've got Keaton, Bale, Affleck, Pattinson. You can only choose one, and the rest and their universe cease to exist. Who do you pick?
I'd have to go with the Affleck, man.
Affleck,
I have to go with Affleck. Yeah,
that'd be my choice too.
Yeah, because you mentioned the universe, and I think, dude, that universe is my gosh, bro. Yeah, like, and don't get me wrong, nostalgia, you know, Keaton all day, but I'd have to go with Affleck on that one, dude. Yeah,
me too, man. I mean, that's my pick. I mean, they all get picked. All of them have gotten picked over time. But for me too, Affleck. Like one of my reasons for picking Affleck personally would simply be because of the nightmare scenes.
Let's go.
That alone, I wanted to see that fleshed out, dude.
Like, a whole full length film of that.
Yeah, I'll take an entire film of just that.
Bro.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to see that. That's so interesting to me, dude.
Oh my gosh, dude.
All right, last question. If you could time travel to any time period, any era, where would you go and why? And you can have up to 3 different choices.
You know what? I'm very, like, the way my cosplay doesn't speak the way I dress. I've the way I dress is.
I've seen, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have to go back to the 1920s, dude.
Yes, dude. I knew it. I was gonna say 20s, 30s. I knew it was gonna be somewhere around there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. I just the style of clothing, the men used to wear back then. I mean, and even just like the vibe it was, dude. Like it's very, very, very. I call it classy, dude. You know, and so
100%.
1920s, dude. 1920s.
100%, man. I love one of my favorites is the 30s. 30s is always a standout for me. I always love the 50s as well. 50s is a standout for me too. Like, do you ever see the show Mad Men?
Yes, man.
Yeah, like I love like the suits and the way they dress and everything. Like, oh, dude, you know what I mean?
Bring that back, dude.
Yes, man. I love that, dude. Like, as much as I don't dress like that 100% throughout my time too. But because a lot of people also, they don't see me. They just see me rocking shirts because of the podcast. You know what I mean? And when I go to cons too, like if I'm doing videography, I'm just wearing like shirts and stuff.
But you got to be comfortable, man.
If you notice, I am always wearing boots though, like nice boots. I'm always like, even though I'm doing videography and I'm just wearing like a tee and pants, I at least got to wear my nice boots. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Like Tyra vouched for me when we go out and stuff. Like if you see us posting our personal stuff, we're usually kind of dressed up. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
Yeah, we dress up. Like I wear button-up shirts. You know what I mean? I dress kind of nice. Like we dress up a little bit, man. But we just don't show that all the time. Like, so I feel you on that, man. Like all 30s and 50s was like my era too. You can have two more if you want them, or if you want to just stick with the 20s, that's fine too.
You actually mentioned one of them, which is the 50s.
50s, okay.
The 50s, yeah. 50s more so because of the vehicles, the cars, man.
Yes, dude. Yes.
Dude, like 1950s vehicles, bro, are just fire. I actually, I'm actually wanting to sell my motorcycle, and I'm going to use that funding to invest into. I'm not sure what exactly, whether a Bel Air, Continental. I'm not sure, but dude, because of the cars.
Continental's one of my favorites, man. Yeah. Ooh. We got to bring that back too.
Right?
Like, why haven't any car companies you could get you could make so much money off the nostalgia. You know what I mean?
Dude,
like, what are they doing?
My wife that. I told my wife, I was like, why don't they bring back the classic, body?
Yeah.
But implement the new modern technology.
Yes, dude.
Bro.
Yes, I've said that exact thing to so many people too. Because I've had that conversation and people are like, oh, well, some people go, well, if you're gonna do like the whole classic body, like you have to have the classic interior and stuff too. And I'm like, you know what? Actually, I beg to differ. Like I beg to differ. Like maybe you can make like the seats and stuff classic interior and all of that.
100%, I agree on that.
You could even make the steering wheel, the look of it classic and everything too. But I think you do kind of got to include classic. Modern technology, just 100%. With the way if you want to get a full classic, that's what the classics are for.
Exactly.
Right? But the body, you can do certain things in the interior that are like even the ceiling and stuff. They use like the material that would normally like end up falling down over time.
Falls apart.
Falls apart over time. But like you could even like do all of that and like. What are we doing? Why are we not doing that as car companies? You know what I mean?
I mean, if they see this, dude, we should patent this idea now because if they do this, like I'm guarantee I'm buying one.
100%.
Whatever the cost.
Yeah, I will save up for years if I have to, dude.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
bro.
Imagine driving like a huge wide body, long Continental, and it's like you got like come on, dude. And especially the way to get more people to want that is by putting modern technology.
Exactly.
In it. You know what I mean? You got like Apple CarPlay when everybody can connect their phone. People are going to go, what the fuck am I driving this for? I should go get this thing. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what they're thinking.
It's like, and I get it. Like, like they're trying to go on to the future, right? They're trying to make things look like the movies where everything's like, very futuristic, curvy. But bro, they're the few like us where like, no, we want classic, dude. And then,
sell.
Oh, it would. It will sell hard, bro.
I will argue that till I die. It will sell. Anybody that says I don't think it will, you are wrong.
I'm right there. I'll jump over that ledge with you, bro. I'm right there with you, dude.
You are wrong. I'm not letting you debate me on that. You know what I mean? Like you are wrong. It'll sell. I guarantee it. You underestimate.
100%. I don't know what they're doing. They're sitting on a gold mine.
That's a gold mine, 100%, dude. You got one more, or are you sticking with those two?
You know what? I think just those two. I think those two are probably my go-tos for sure.
For sure, man. For sure. Well, that was a great shotgun questions, man. Wow, that was great, dude. We could have a whole conversation about like time travel and like different things and eras, dude. We could have a whole episode on that.
You know
what I mean?
Dude. And the whole episode we're dressed in those eras, dude.
Oh my God. Okay, dude. I'm gonna find because here a sidebar real quick because it's something I keep saying I'm gonna do it more often, and I haven't. I'm not doing it, but I really want to. I've done it like maybe once or twice. I can't recall. I want to bring guests back, right? Because this show, the format, everybody kind of knows. It's what we're doing right now. It's kind of like an interview format. Yeah, I throw in different conversations like we just had right now. We have different conversations. We may go off on tangents and talk about random stuff. But the format generally is like an interview kind of style, right?
Yeah.
And we tend to just talk about cosplay, right? That's my fan base. That's the audience. And that's cool. But what I want to do to switch it up is I want to invite guests back, right? And an emphasis on the plural part. Like say it's you, right? In the future, you come back, but I also invite another previous guest, right? Whether you know that guest or you don't, and have us three on together.
Yeah.
And yeah, we may talk about cosplay here and there, but the focus is no longer that interview style because we already did that. You know what I mean? So now it's the three of us talking about, you know, whatever we decide to talk about, whatever the topics are. Of course, we talk about it behind the scenes first. You know what I mean? Maybe we still kind of stick to comic book stuff, and we're talking about films. You know, MCU, DCU, or whatever. And then maybe we have a segment where it's all like what we just talked about right now, right? Where we're talking about we talk about time travel, and we kind of stick to it, and we go off on ventures about the 20s and cars, and you know what I mean. It could be other stuff because cosplayers are more than just cosplay.
100%.
You're also a human being, just in general. You know what I mean? So like you have other interests. You have things that you also are interested about. You know what I mean? So and interested in. So I thought that that's always a fun way to, maybe we'll have half the episode kind of still relate to pop culture, and maybe the other half kind of just something different, right? Where every episode I'm testing the waters and we're talking about something completely different. You know what I mean? And then it's a way for two other cosplayers, if they know each other, then they already know each other. But if you don't know each other, and I make sure everybody gets along, of course. You know what I mean? Not going to invite somebody that doesn't like somebody.
That's a whole nother kind of show.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And that's a way for you two to get to know each other, right? And maybe so we're bringing more people together, and it's like, you know, I didn't know, you know, Vision Arts, and I didn't know this person, but because we went on the show and we had like this whole conversation about this and that, now we got to know each other. So it's like it's a whole thing, and I want to do that. I want to focus on that more. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I haven't done it enough, dude. So that's one I'm going to keep in the vault. Keep in mind yours, and we got to dress up. We got to find somebody else that's willing to dress up, dude.
Bro, you know what I mean? We got to find that one more guy. I think that'd be dope, dude, because it's such like a just three guys, or you know, even girls too. Like just hanging out, having a conversation, and then the viewers just the fly on the wall.
Yes,
you know? Like,
exactly, dude. It actually would be cool to maybe even throw a female in there, and she dresses up like that too. Dude. You know what I mean? Like that would be kind of cool, man. We got to find somebody who's like really into it and has some like knowledge too. You know what I mean? I'll keep an open mind on that, dude. But I want to talk to you more about some cosplay stuff, and we're running on a little long, so we'll see what we do, what I can do in editing. I didn't expect it. We go on tangents. It happens.
Yeah,
you know
what happens.
But we covered Spawn, right? Image Comics. We talked about your Iron Fist, Marvel. So I feel like we got to cover some DC, dude. But like I also want to talk to you about your Wolverine. So I'm torn, man. Like, but I feel like we got to show some love to your DC cosplay. So I'm going to cheat a little bit here.
All right.
I'm gonna categorize this into characters within comics that I think that you perfectly embody, and all three of these to me that I'm gonna mention is that your Wolverine is such a great iteration, man. The suit is just flawless. The mask is flawless. I believe I even commented to you about the claws in person that they stand out so greatly in film when we were filming what we were filming, and that's coming soon. And then. Same goes with your Superboy. Like, dude, you look so great as this. You talk about standout, man. It fits you perfectly, dude. And then you have your Robin, which you actually have different iterations of Robin that you've done over time. Yeah. All of them equally amazing. So out of these three different cosplays that you've done, which is, if you can choose, a standout for you most?
So I would have to go with Wolverine, man.
Nice.
Specifically because of the fact, like, he has always been one of my all-time favorite characters.
Yeah.
You know, like, he is a hero, but at the same time, he's a hero that just doesn't care. And so, like, you know, I know he's been called anti-hero as well, but it's just his whole vibe that he has with him, dude. And the fact that if you do really dig deep, man, he does have a heart too, though.
Yes,
you know, he does care, bro. And so it'd have to be Wolverine flat out over the other two characters. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I loved, you know, cosplaying these other two characters, but Wolverine, when I'm in that suit, bro, like, I'm him, bro, you know, like, and it's just like,
you get that feeling, right? There's certain cosplays that you put on and you're just like, dude, fuck yeah.
Dude, like, yes. And he does that for me. And because, you know, I especially when I worked with you with the Wolverine, like, you brought even more out of me when it came to the character. Nice, and so, like, thank you for that, bro. Like, you did an amazing job when we worked together.
You, man. I'm glad to hear that, dude. Have you been more of a Marvel fan or more of a DC fan, or are you kind of split down the middle?
So yeah, I growing up, I was a majority Marvel, but
Same,
as like
yeah.
I'm getting older, like I'm starting to like connect more with DC characters.
That's what happened to me, bro. That's the
Yeah,
same
man.
thing.
Yeah, it's the craziest thing. Yeah.
It's that dark and grittiness that DC
Yes.
has, and like
Yes.
as you get older, something about relating to it. But I was the same way. My dad, I've told this story a million times, so forgive me if there's anybody that's like, oh, here we go again. You know what I mean? But like my dad actually is a huge comic book fan. He always has been, and he actually introduced me to comics when I was a kid. And the first memory I have, a lot of kids will have, Superman, Batman as their first memories, maybe even Spider-Man, right? But my actual first memory that I have of any superhero comics or anything is actually Wolverine. And it's because my dad was still is, giant Wolverine fan.
Oh, that's cool, man.
First memory I have, I don't remember how old I was or anything, but just like, you can remember back, and it's like, I have vague memories of like flipping the comic pages of like the X-Men with my dad, and it's like Wolverine. So as a kid, I went full-fledged X-Men, you know what I mean? That was like my go-to for years. And then of course, I got introduced to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then my dad was also a big Silver Surfer fan, so I got introduced into, like you don't hear enough about Silver Surfer either.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
bro. Another OP character that doesn't get much credit.
Yeah, my dad was a huge Silver Surfer fan, so I was like deep into Silver Surfer as a kid too. And then it wasn't until later, like of course, don't get me wrong, I watched like, Keaton as Batman and stuff, the Batman animated series and stuff. But and of course I liked it. And Superman was actually the one where I wasn't ever like a huge fan of.
Yeah.
People hate on me for that all the time.
Me too, bro.
All the time, dude. Like you can't not like, if you dislike Superman or you don't like Superman enough, people are like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's either a full cup or nothing. And it's like,
right?
Like,
it's like, dude, I don't know, bro. Like, that's the way I grew up. I don't know what to tell you, man. So I'm not like a diehard Superman fan at all. But those were like my big ones growing up. It was like the X-Men. I was always more into Marvel. And then I got older and I was like, damn, dude, like Batman's got some depth to him. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then like Nightwing and Red Hood, like, no way. I was like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? And then I love the Dark Justice League Dark and stuff. Constantine. Bro, I'm a big magic fan. Even Alien stuff, Martian Manhunter. And like I got, I went that route when I was when I got introduced more into DC as an adult. But when it comes to DC for you, you've got, Superboy, not Superman. You've got Robin, not Batman, right? Is this like a purposeful trend of you doing like sidekicks or family existing characters, if you will? Or did it kind of just end up that way? Like, what is it about Superboy that drew you in? Is it the character itself, or maybe like the suit design? Because he does have a really dope suit design, you know what I mean? And then like the same for Robin. Like what about Robin draws you in? And which Robin? Grayson, Jason Todd, Damian? Like what is it for you?
So yeah, it is on purpose. So like, it's like you've done this before, bro. I'm just saying. I feel like you've done interviews before.
My research, man. I do my research.
So yeah, man, it is done on purpose. And the reason that being is like, I never felt like I connected with like the main characters.
Right.
It was always like the side guys, and the guys that again, like don't get talked enough about. And I think that's what it is. And I never really saw myself as him, like that phrase, like I'm him. And it's like, and those are to me the main characters. Like you have like, even though like I love these characters, like Batman's an amazing character. Right. I just don't see myself in a cowl, like in Batman cowl. So that's why I do choose, the Superboys, the Robins and things like that. Superboy is something more like I was more actually intrigued because of the suit itself.
Right.
But also his backstory, like him trying to find a name for himself, him not even liking being called Superman in the beginning. He's like, don't call me that, And so I think like these stories that are behind these characters, and even, Robin's character of, how his family passed and things like that. I think that's like that's the reason why I chose these sideline characters for sure. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I agree with you, man. That's really cool. Which Robin do you like more? You like Dick Grayson? Do you like Jason Todd? Do you like Damian Wayne, or do you like all of them? Like, which one draws you in a little bit more? So
this might be another one I'm going to get canceled for, but Grayson, man. Grayson. Yeah, because again, like I had mentioned, his storyline, dude. His storyline, because it ties in so much with Bruce. Like it's like, like Bruce. That's why Bruce connected to him so much, because they kind of had the same, story with their parents, and they both lost their parents and things like that. So I think, and then also who Robin becomes in the great. And so I draw more to Grayson. And again, no hate to Jason and to Damian. Like they're both like really cool characters, but Grayson, like I definitely connect with most.
Someone's gonna. I just realized as you were talking, someone's gonna be like, "How come nobody mentioned Tim Drake?" I'm sorry, I forgot. I forgot, which is crazy because he's actually one of my favorites. Like, he's not my favorite as a Robin. He's my favorite when he becomes Red Robin. I like, and it's mainly because of the suit. Like, I love the Red Robin suit. Like, I really love that Red Robin suit with the cowl and everything and the way that it is. I always dug that. But yeah, I agree with you, man. Grayson's story and from Robin going into Nightwing and everything too is phenomenal. His growth. You know what I mean? His growth from Robin to Nightwing, and it's just it's one of the most iconic characters. It really is. Next to, in my opinion, next to Jason Todd being iconic from his transformation into Red Hood, of course.
100%.
One of the two iconic sidekick characters for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's funny that you brought up Tim Drake. Yeah, because one of the Robins that I have technically is a Tim Drake variant. It's from the Batman Detective storyline. And it wasn't by choice. I just chose to get this suit because it was available. So what I am going to do is remove the emblem and then just throw that, one R on there. And so, it's funny that you brought up Tim Drake. We got to show him love too.
It's crazy. Yeah, we do. A lot of people don't. And he is the one that gets left out the most.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot. I usually always do my best to mention all of them. I can't believe I forgot. We are going to get ready to wrap up, man. We are running on a little long. I'll see what I can fix in editing here. But before we do wrap up, I do just want to ask you real quick about your future. You kind of mentioned a few things with the future. You just mentioned Robin right now. You mentioned doing a more Iron Fist later. You mentioned doing different stuff with Spawn as well. Whatever. You don't have to reveal anything either. Yeah. But do you plan on doing maybe another variation of a Wolverine suit, for instance? You know what I mean? Is that something that you look into? Is there more DC characters you want to do and more Marvel characters you want to do? And then also because I wanted to talk to you about it more, and I didn't get the opportunity to mention, but for those that may not know, you are a tattoo artist as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and you're phenomenal. I checked out your work, bro. I didn't know that actually, to be honest with you. And then I saw you promoting something, and I was like, wait a minute. And I looked, and then Tyre was like, you didn't know? And I was like, thanks for keeping me in the dark on this. You know what I mean? My brother is actually a tattoo artist too.
Oh, that's dope, man.
So is my uncle as well. My uncle
that's so cool, bro.
My uncle actually used to work for Chester Bennington, God rest his soul. You know what I mean? R.I.P.
What?
Yeah, my uncle was one of Chester's employees. Chester owned a tattoo shop in Vegas, and my uncle was.
That's so sick.
He hired my uncle there. So tattoo stuff runs in my family. You know what I mean?
Let's go, dude.
Not with me. I have tattoos, but I'm not good with arts. You know what I mean? So, but even with that too, I know that you don't have to give locations or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I know I saw you talking about you got your own place and everything, dude. I don't know how long you've had that, but congratulations. That is awesome, dude.
Thank you.
And it looks amazing. It looks really nice, man. I got to come down and get something sometime.
Yeah, let's go.
So what's your future look like, within cosplay, and then whatever else you want to mention in your personal life too?
Yeah. Right? So cosplay, I am doing the whole Grayson storyline. So I'm going to be doing Nightwing.
Nice.
I feel like, a lot of people have hit me up. They're like, bro, when are you going to do a Nightwing? And I've been wanting to do that character, but it's in the works right now. Definitely in the works.
Cool.
And then I already mentioned Gunslingers in the works right now as well.
Hell yeah.
And you might have planted a seed with doing another variant of Iron Fist. So we'll see about that one too. Yeah,
nice,
man. But
Hell yeah, man. Well, dude, it's been awesome to talk with you about everything, man. I'm so stoked, dude. I'm so glad that you wanted to do this, dude. Like, I've been following you for a while. Your cosplays are amazing. Your ethic is amazing, dude. And then when we met in person, I was like, man, I click with this dude. Like, this dude is a cool dude. You know what I mean? And I'm thankful you said what you said about us working together videography wise too, because like I felt it too. I'm gonna get emotional. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna get emotional. But no, I felt it too. I was like, oh man, we click well, like working together too. And it's always cool as somebody behind the camera. You know what I mean? When you're like directing somebody to do some stuff, and like you just kind of like click and you feel it, because no shame, but there's times where it's like people, it's a little rougher to get things going. And I'm not throwing any shade. Sometimes people are just nervous or whatever it may be. Maybe they're just they had a bad day. They're not as feeling it as much. I'm not on anybody, but it's always dope when you just kind of connect with somebody and it goes 100%. Super smooth, and you look back at it and you're like, wow, that took all of 3 minutes and it's amazing. You know what I mean? Like it's always cool when you have that. So I'm stoked that we got to work together, and that'll be coming out soon. I'm stoked that you're here, man. It's been absolutely awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not following Vision Arts on Instagram, please go do so. Spelled exactly how it sounds. We are going to get up out of here. So thank you for coming, man. I really appreciate it. And everybody tuning in right now, thank you for watching, for liking, for commenting, for sharing, for doing all of those beautiful things that you do over on youtube.com/Side Project Podcast. When you go down, you hit that big red subscribe button. When you do, go and you get 100 sexy Project points. Thank you for watching and listening on Spotify, as videos are available on Spotify as well. well, when you follow and you rate, you do all those things you do. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you're looking for me, you can find me on Instagram at IGHatesChazzy. That is my personal. And if you're looking for the podcast as a whole, you can find it on Instagram at Side Projekt Podcast. Remember, that's Project with a K. Side Projekt Podcast available, Side Projekt merch available on Side Projekt Podcast. For me, for Vision Arts, for my Chia pet hair, we are out of here.